We're here for Coach's Corner with Steve Antonelli, thanks to Richmond Residential.
Mick?
Steve, halfway through the competition, how do you think we're travelling as a team, and how do you think we compare in terms of the other teams?
Oh, I think we're not too bad. I think we're sitting third, but we're, there's a lot of improvement for us there, which is a good thing this time of year. Wouldn't want to be playing your best footy now and worrying what we're going to do moving forward. But I know we've got a lot of improvement. I know we can do it. So we're pretty happy where we're sitting. The other teams, I think they're all on the same boat. It's sort of up and down competition, and as you would know, it's who turns up ready to play for the week. So not too really worried about the other teams, more so how we progressing.
Yeah. And so on last week's performance, I guess it was a good performance towards the back end where we ground away and won pretty comfortably in the end. Is that something that you've been working on? Is that something you've been trying to get the guys into, working on that grinding sort of win?
Yeah, well, I've been speaking about that probably, excuse me, getting a bit of a grind with the other teams, and that's something we did well on the weekend. Our completion rate was 90%, and that instead kept us in the game, really. You know what I mean? Because they were on fight. They played some good footy, Manly. Yeah. And defensive, we had to be right, but if we didn't complete, we would have been in big trouble. But yeah, no, it was good. That was good. That part of the game, about getting in the grind. But just our finishes on our sets were a lot better too. Yeah. We finished with a bit of control, and yeah, we sort of slowly. And I said it'd take 8 weeks before we really started to play some good footy. Yeah. So it was good.
And I guess that's probably the first game where we've actually put 2 good halves together.
Yeah, it was very true, Mick. Yeah, we probably the only bad thing I thought was our defence. You know, I wasn't real happy with our first half defence. We had 13 misses in the first half and 4 in the second, so we had 17 in total. Yeah, but more than 90% of them were in the first half. So that was only from a coach's perspective, not happy with.
Okay. The result put us back in the 3rd position, within striking distance of those top 2 teams. So how important is it to get into that top 4 and stay there in terms of this competition?
I don't know about. I suppose because it's only halfway during the year, like, you know what I mean? If it's 4 or 5 rounds to go, I'd want to be in that top 4 and cement myself in there. But since we're only halfway through, I just think we're travelling pretty good. And top 4 is important at the end of the year because you get 2 bites of the cherry, as you know. But this time of year, I think it's just about building and building for the back end of the season. Yeah. So and we're sitting in 3rd, and we're, like you said, we're only, I think, 5 points from striking distance to them other 2. Yeah. So the next 2 weeks are really important for us. Okay. And the Panthers this week, they've been hot and cold. Yeah. What are we expecting out of those guys? It's true, they've been hot and cold, but they're a good side. They're young, they've got plenty of energy, and they come with aggression. So for me, it's going to be a real physical type of game. They play with energy. It's something that we need to match them with, but I'm expecting a real thorough affair against them, actually. Yeah. Like physical-wise, because they just come off their line hard, and they play pretty simple coming out of their own end and out of yardage. So we really need to be on our game to get a win this week. They've got a couple of ex-NRL boys in there, Peter Hicku and so forth in there, so that they're not short of experience and a lot of youth there. Yeah,
and it's going to be a bit of a tough one because we're playing at like 6 a.m. in the morning or something like that.
We're back there under 10's time. I think we're on quarter 10.
Yeah. So during the week you do a fair bit of video analysis. Yep. And I know you spend a lot of time on that, trying to pull the opposition apart. So what sort of stuff do you look for when you're trying to pull the opposition teams apart?
When I look at it, just probably the way they defend. Yep. If they defend up and in, whether they paddle or just little areas where we could pick apart and break them down at. I'll probably look for little weaknesses in their defensive line. Certain players, some don't like contact, some do. Just little areas where we can get a bit of an edge on and find a little bit of weakness in them and create something off the back of it for us. So that usually takes, I don't know, 8-10 hours, 2 days to cut it apart, and then show the boys and put it into practice. But sometimes you can do 10 hours of video and you just go completely opposite of what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Especially in my level. NRL's a bit different because they have the same team every week. You can have a look at the way to defend, they have a look at the way they attack. Where us, we have different players in there each week, so some defend different than others, so it's sort of hard to... You can only look back 1 or 2 games really on their on how they play.
Okay. And the Massey Cup, our Massey Cup team, the last time we spoke about those guys, they just got absolutely thumped.
Yep.
Since that time, they've gone on a 5-game winning streak, jumped up in second place in the competition. What's been the turnaround with those guys, do you think?
Probably a bit of a kick up the arse for a start. Probably, I think some of them we got a bit too far ahead of ourselves, I think, and which is, I don't know, it's a good thing or a bad thing, but sometimes they need a bit of a kick up, and we've been training hard on the paddock. Like Bortho's been like touching them up every Tuesday, and it's probably the same thing. A lot of new players in there too, so it took a bit of time getting used to how we play. We've got players from other clubs, and so it probably took a while. Yeah, but they're on a good roll. I think you've got to test it. Next year they got West this week. I think St Mary's the week after, so it's probably the hardest 2 weeks moving forward for them. Yeah, they've got a couple of tough weeks coming. Yeah. And Sydney Shield as well. I mean, they've been pretty good. They've been the standout all year. Yep. Defensive wise, they're 100 points better than any other team. That's a flow-on effect from what's happening. Yeah, from what we do through the whole club, really. Yeah. But the young side, that I mean, they've got a lot of kids out of 20s in that side, and so I'm happy with the way they're going. And they're putting pressure on them Massey, and now Massey's starting to put pressure on blokes in my team, and that's what you want, isn't it? That's what we want, pressure on each other and to perform to our best. It's a good thing moving forward for the club, because we've got a few little injuries at the moment in our club here, and then they've got a few down in Canberra, so it's blokes need to grab their chance when they can. Yeah. And just on that, Royce Hunt looks likely to make his debut this week, so he's been a work in progress for the last couple of years, and starting to pay off. Yeah, no, very happy. It looks like he'll get a crack this week, and it's like you said, he's a man, he's boy. We've had him for a couple of years now. Yeah. And just for me, it just shows if you put the hard work in, you get results. And he had a bit of a period there last year. We come back and we had to pull him in the line because of his fitness and his weight and all the issues there. But look where he is now. He's looked like he's going to debut against Penrith, and he's only 22 years of age. And probably this time at the start of the year didn't even think he just thought he'd play sort of not park footy, but that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Work one day and play. Now he's the full time. Can get there. Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, once again, Steve Antonelli, thanks for your time. Thanks to Richmond Residential, and it's been another edition of Coach's Corner. Thank you.